Hey everyone, it's Second K. And last time we met, assuming I'm now uploading out of order, nevertheless, the last Go Battle League I recorded, I promised that I wasn't going to record anymore until I had a unique team to share with you all. And I think it doesn't really get much more unique than this. I'm going in with a Shale Gardevoir, Quagsire, and Sunny Cast form. Now, this all started because I had the spur to actually try to use a Shadow Pokemon in Go Battle League. So I've probably gone for at least 3, maybe even 4 sets, just experimenting around with Pokemon that would have good chemistry with Go Battle League. And considering that I actually won the 2 battles you're seeing on screen, I think I'm confident enough to say that this could be the team, at least enough to actually take it live. Before we actually get in though, let me just skim a little ahead and show y'all what going up against. The main strategy with this team is very similar to the strategy I've had with my core. I've just noticed that I have a tendency to have a lead that hits hard and can really scare out some opponents to give myself the switch advantage. So that was the main purpose of Skarmory on my original core, just having Sky Attack spamming. If I get the type advantage, or situation where Skarmory would go well against my opponent's lead, then good. I give myself the switch advantage because my opponent switch, and I still have the opportunity to switch into something to counter them, which is huge for Go Battle League. If they do decide to stay in and sack it, I'm okay with that too, because that allows me to get free Pokemon and maybe some shields along the way. If they don't decide to switch, then just pretty much go Hail Mary and just blast whatever I can before my Skarmory goes down, not wasting any shields along the way, to hopefully at least give myself a shield advantage. There isn't a foolproof plan to this. There are some occasions where I do have to switch out because it's a hard counter. Registeel is probably the most prominent example. But I've done, as you've seen in a lot of the Go Battle League videos I've done, this team's really fared me fairly well, and I feel like Skarmory's League really is a good testament to that. So it's kind of like trying to mimic the same thing, which is why I fought a Shadow Pokemon, despite my whole objections and desire to purify them all, would work out pretty well for this strategy for my team. I went on this tangent because Gardevoir is basically playing a very similar role to what my Skarmory played. Pretty much go Hail Mary and blast away at my opponent. Granted, since my Gardevoir has Charm and not a move that actually gets me energy, wearing Wing Shield isn't really an option, but if I do get something that's a good hard counter, like if I go up against an Altaria, that's the best case scenario, because Gardevoir can pretty much wear away an Altaria with Charm alone. And there's a few other counters like that that are good. It's not quite like Skarmory, also in the sense where there's a lot more situations where I do have to swap out, so I have to pick out safely Pokemon to switch to. But for every disadvantage, I kind of found something else to counteract it, so this is a big tangent to actually say. Being able to cover my Gardevoir's bases, cover the things that's weak to, is super important. So you might expect from a Charm wielder, if it's a Steel type, I gotta have it covered. Which is one case you could argue why I have 2 Pokemon on my team that actually are super effective against the ground types, or I mean the steel types. Cast form is amazing against grass types, and if I can line up the situation right, Solar Beam could in theory get me out of a pinch against a mud boy like Quagsire, or I guess technically Quagsire, but more so Wishcast and Swampert. But in the case that I can't line up my cast form for those things, I also have Quagsire. Because believe it or not, despite the being neutral, Quagsire is actually a top counter against Swampert, which surprises me, but is the main reason why I have Quagsire on the team. And I'm worried about grass types because a lot of them are also poison types, which are super bad for Gardevoir. And the spam ability of Water Ball is actually super handy, because if someone isn't careful with their shields, you can just go through an opponent's shield really quickly. To the point where I'm tempted to have Cast Form be the lead instead of Gardevoir. I guess it'll depend on how many Skarmories and other steel type leads I run across. But even in the middle or the back, like, it's good to have for a safe switch. I was initially thinking that Quagsire would be the Pokemon that I swap a lot to, but Castforman's had his time to shine. I think a big reason why I find Quagsire my safe first switch when I do have to give up the switch advantage in the lead over Castform is due to the fact that, like, I feel Castform gets hard counter a little bit easier, because with Castform, it's as obvious as day what you want to use against it. Basically anything that's super effective against it does fairly well against Castform. Even with Solar Beam, it takes so long to charge up to it. A water type, especially a Mud Boy, can usually make it work out of it. Quagsire, however, has a lot more neutral grounds in theory, just because its water ground typing means the only thing it's going to get hard countered by is grass, and granted, like, if I do run into that, it's a bit of a troublesome situation for me, but at least then I can at least bring Castform in right away and take care of it. That's kind of why we need more testing, but I'm willing to do it live, considering the success I've had with these two battles. Like, I could have sworn I was going to lose this one, but Quagsire really pulled through for me at the end. Just even though I was resisting the ground attacks, having Stone Edge in my back pocket really helps me out. I was going to say something before we went on to the live set, but yeah, I think what I was trying to say earlier is the reason I like having Quagsire as my safe swap in the situation that my lead isn't working out is because I feel that Gardevoir and Quagsire cover each other fairly well, so it's right on the tip of my tongue, but I forget. Basically, I feel like it's really hard for me to get hard countered if I swap into Quagsire and sacrifice the switch advantage, just because of how versatile Quagsire is. But I'm sure we'll see more examples once we actually take this into live field battles, or I'll disprove myself. And also worth is keeping in mind that if I do find myself in a situation where I feel like swapping into Quagsire would hurt me more than help me, Gardevoir, being basically live cannon status, can just stay in there, and even though I won't win the battle between the leads, I'll at least not sacrifice the switch advantage and hopefully get enough damage in. If it is something that hard counters me, like a Registeel, then it's worth sacrificing the switch advantage over. Because if they have a Registeel, odds are they'll have something in the back that's weak to Charm, or at least doesn't resist it and take large amounts of damage to it. I think that's the reason I was trying to say what I was trying to say. Now, I've definitely gone over the amount of length that I had for the two battles I did. Let's jump into some live stuff. One thing I forgot to mention, and I'm real happy that it worked out this way, is kind of coincidental. Every Pokemon in here is a Pokemon that I like I actually have attachment to beyond just Pokemon Go. It's a little unfair to say that because I really love my core team. Like, the only Pokemon on my core that I didn't really have attachment to as a species of Pokemon before Pokemon Go is Skarmory. But Skarmory actually kind of grew on me as I was using it in Go Battle League. I just love his niche so much. So I'm real happy I'm actually able to take a team that's not just meta, or at least was able to work 3 matches in a row. But like, I can point to each one of these Pokemon and say, yeah, I like them. I had to cut away because I realized I was doing the horrendous crime, and didn't actually have a nickname for my Shadow Gardevoir. If I'm going to use it, it needs to have a name. So from now on, this Shadow Gardevoir will be known as Princess Amagi. Man, that's a deep cut reference. To be fair though, you have to understand why I tend to name my Gardevoir Yukiko in order to understand why that name's a thing. Now let's see, now that I'm actually going to do this live, how terrible everything will go the moment that the commentating mic is hooked up, plugged in, and ready to battle. In a 3, in a 2, in a 1. I have no idea how I'm supposed to counter this Pokemon. Is this good or badly for me? Guess I will charm and see for myself. Yeah, I hate using a shield in my lead, but that's the downside of using a shadow Pokemon as a lead. They will fall fast, so if you want to get some good use, you need to be prepared to shield away, cause otherwise they will fall over before you can do anything of use with the shadow lead. But hey, that's fine. At least I tried. It's different from a scarring lead, but hey, that's what we'll do today. That's how we will say hooray. Now I have no clue if the swap was the best thing that I should have done, but hey, now they have no shields. Quagsire, here is some free lunch. I think you can take anything that the Queen might decide to throw at me. Could have sucked up Earth power better. Really want to save my shield. That was not clever. Now I will probably die before I even get to use the last shield. But hey, at least it's my plays and not my team that really brought me down there, because like, I should have realized after I saw 2 of the 3 Pokemon that Gardevoir wasn't going to be doing much else in that fight, and act accordingly. But hey, let me see if we can turn this around this time. Wish Cast. I'm talking all about what I'm gonna do with the Mud Boys, but I never actually put anything into play, so I'm actually not quite sure how this goes down. Ah, frick. I thought I could swap away before I got to the Mud Bomb. But let's just see how well I take it. It's not that strong of a move, but Gardevoir, especially as a Shadow, is a really frail Pokemon. But this is the trade-off, like, I almost got this Wish Cast completely down just from charming it away. So sure, I'm gonna lose my lead, but yeah, at least Quagsire can come in here and finish it off. Did I call Wish Cast a Quagsire again? Alright, this is fine, this gives me a switch advantage. The downside is I really would have liked to have my Gardevoir for this Altaria. This isn't, unfortunately, another flaw in my team. I could take one Sky Attack at least. I'm gonna just be ready to spam some Weather Balls. If I can get rid of a couple shields, then nice. I think like the last... you saw the last Altaria shield. I'm surprised that these Altarias are shielding though. I think they resist my attacks fairly well, so I'm not sure why they want to give up their shields just to avoid getting hit by a couple Weather Balls. But I'll take it. I kinda need it, to be honest. Oh yeah, Quagsire technically could carry this. I mean, he's gonna have to. This is amazing. It's too early to say that we won, because, I mean, we do have a high hill to climb. But getting rid of both the shields so early on is huge. It's if that If that Altaria just didn't shield one of my attacks, that would have made all the difference. Trying to, like, just grind away energy with mud shots, it's a bit rough, though. Yeah, I got a shield here. I've saved up a lot of energy, but I would rather farm down the Wish Cast and the Quagsire at least. I'm just real worried about... Okay, what's his last Pokemon? I hate to waste that energy on the Altaria, but I'm afraid that it's gonna, like, get to his charge move before I can take it out if I don't just go ahead and spam it away. It's too late. We're gonna go all the way. Worse, it was able to take me out with his fast moves. I don't know if I actually did the Stone straight away on the Altaria though. I don't think I would have won anyways. It's still one Pokemon in the back, and I kind of need that energy in order to take that out. This is what I'm talking about. Do fairly well off screen, and yet the moment I put the live commentary face on, the team falls apart. But I knew that, like, this team isn't gonna be perfect. A best buddy Skarmory. I'm pretty sure that's not actually really relevant because Skarmory maxes out before 1500 if I recall correctly. But it's interesting to see. Okay, this could work to my advantage. It's all going to come down to mind games though. If the Zoomerol shields this, that's done. Cast form is toast, and I don't really have too much more confidence for the rest of my team. But if it doesn't shield, then that happens! Oh man, I can't believe that it actually worked. I honestly didn't need to shield that Ice Beam, but I was too scared. Can I actually, like... And I got the energy off the Zoomerol. Oh my god. This is why I want to have Cast Form. This is why I want to have Solar Beam on Cast Form. I just didn't think it would work. Like, I feel like... maybe I'm mistaken, but I feel like anyone going up a Cast Form that knows this moveset wouldn't risk it. I mean, yeah, you'd be wasting a shield against a Weather Ball if they were baiting you, but... I hate to save... It's tough, because, like... This is neutral, now super effective against... And Quagsire would do super effective damage, but... I don't know what the last Pokemon is, and, like... Honestly, Gardevoir is just way too risky to risk it on that last Pokemon. Meanwhile, Quagsire, I completely forgot about the Skarmory still being a thing. I mean, it's not terrible for me, because if I get to a Stone-ish I can win, but the issue is, he still has a shield left. He's gonna shield this. I can take this, but I'm not sure if I'll have enough energy to take out both Pokemon if I don't shield this, but I need to save my shield. If I use my shield right away, then there's no way I'm taking care of the Blaziken. If nothing else, we could say this is a fun ride to go with the set. Unfortunately, it's going to come down to me getting the energy for the Stone Edge. But now I'm not going to have enough health to take care of the Blaziken, unfortunately. Ah man, I'm not even going to take out the Skarmory. Maybe I should have shielded. But then I would still be in a rough situation against the Blaziken, I feel. So, I mean, like, I'm actually surprised that I had, like, an extra set. So technically I won that battle 3 Pokemon in a row. I take the team back to the drawing board, but I'm not quite sure what to change. I think the obvious thing would be to change Gardevoir with a less frail Pokemon, but that's half the gimmick of this. You know what, I'm gonna cut away and just start a new recording for a new set. And worst case scenario, if I don't see any more success with this team, I can at least show you the slight improvements I've made with my core. Though I'm kinda still on the fence if there are improvements or not. Take care.